Look at me now. Woo! Look at me now. Woo! Oh, hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? So, your girl's coming to you today with a story time. So, before I get started, just let you know that both parties involved in this, babe and my ex, both have agreed to me doing this. And this is pretty much just like me getting rid of some stuff that was on my mind with the past, that's been on my mind, and releasing myself from the past so that I can really grow. Um, so, you know, I'm sure we all have had that one relationship where it wasn't really healthy for us, but we just kept going back and kept going back and kept going back because it made us feel good. It was like one of those feel good relationships. So, that's what I'm gonna talk to you guys today. And hopefully you guys can relate to, well, you know, just relate to the story. Maybe not the same instances and the things that have occurred, but just the story of how you just had that one relationship where you just kept going back and forth with the individual. And so for me and the purposes of this video, we're going to use the name Elaine. So Elaine and I were both incarcerated. Hey, it is what it is. Your girl's just going to keep it real with you. It's during a period of time in my life where I was just being like a bad girl. Like, I had been with one person for so long, and then that relationship ended because of an incident. You know, that'll be another story that I'll tell you guys later on. But just know that the relationship that I was in prior to this relationship was a long relationship, and it ended with the person, something happened to them. Anyways, so what it was I had went to jail, and I was there, you know, like a week, and I was meeting people, you know, just chilling, vibing, whatever. That's all you can do when you're in jail, just vibe, get up every day, do the same thing. But there was this one girl, like I had my eyes on her, and she would only come out the room like literally maybe for 2-3 hours a day. And we was in an open like pod, so we really didn't lock down until like maybe 11 o'clock at night, and then it was open back up at 7 o'clock in the morning. But this girl was just crying, just crying, like just had this deep hurtful cry. So I'm like, yo, who is this girl? Like, why is she doing all this crying? So everybody was just giving me the little backstory. Oh, the person she was in a relationship cheated on her, got in some trouble, and now they're looking at having some hard time. So, you know, me being Inspector Gadget, CIA, I want to do a little investigation. I need to find out a little more details about the girl because, you know, like, hey, crap happens in life, and this is just where it goes. So I was like, yo, what does this girl like? There's like, she likes donuts, she likes this, she likes that, blah, blah, blah. So they serve donuts at breakfast, but I never seen her out for breakfast. So this particular day, I was like, hey, you eat that donut? They was like, nah. You eating that donut? They was like, nah. So I got like half a dozen donuts, collected them up, and so, you know, at the morning count, I go and I knock on the door, like, hey, I got something for you. So she was like, what do you want? I'm like, hey, come on here, I got something for you. And she's like, what? I was like, I got some donuts. And she was like, donuts? I was like, yeah, you like donuts, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, well, in order for you to get these donuts, you're gonna have to come out here and talk to me. So, you know, she gets up, whatever, took a few minutes to come out, and then she comes out, she get these donuts, and she's just looking at me like, yeah, I know this girl got a charitative motive behind me giving me these donuts. Ain't nothing in life free. But really, I was just trying to get her out the room, have a conversation with her, get to know her, and whatever the case might be. So she comes out, and we're talking. I'm like, yo, so what's up with all this crying? Like, why are you crying? And she was like, oh, I've been here X amount of months, and the person I was in a relationship with, was out there cheating on me. Now they don't got in trouble. They don't got a whole charge with this other girl. And, I'm like, well, how many times did the person come visit you? Since you've been here, and they was out on the street, and she's like, there was like a few times, maybe one or two, maybe three, maybe. So me, I'm like, hey, that ain't love. Like, look, you got to get a little bit more self-esteem, because if they was out there doing what they wanted to do and they done got caked up, hey, what you in here crying for? Because they wasn't thinking about you when they was out there doing what they was doing. They was doing what they was doing and having a good time. So after we had this little conversation, I was like, so really can't do nothing. You in the pod, you had TV, you go to the gym, go to church, stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, they got church service tonight, let's go to church. So she's like, okay. We go to church, we just doing all these things, so I'm there for a little bit of time, a couple months. And during this time, we started just like going to church together, going to the gym, just doing different stuff, building a relationship. And, just that's just what it was. So now it's like I'm in there, she in there, and we just, boom, we getting to know each other. We had a guard that was cool with us. And at nighttime, when everybody was locked down, they needed people to clean the pod. So we would always volunteer to go out, clean the pod, just so we can chill, spend some more time together. Because, she was in one cell, I was in another cell, and that's just how it went. So she got out, I'll say probably like maybe a month and a half before I did. But, it's crazy because it was coming up to the holiday time. No, yeah, it was coming up to the holiday time. And we was in there, we was chilling, but by this time they had said we was in a relationship, so they separated us, put us in two separate pods. So I was on one pod, she was in another pod. And it's crazy because when I go to the other pod, it was like a whole bunch of girls that was over there that was already trying to talk to me. So I'm over there and I'm just, trying to mind my own business. But hey, it is what it is. So she was over there talking to people. I was over here talking to people. But we still was being together because we still did our regular activities. They just moved us out the pod together and whatever. So it was Christmas time. It was coming to Christmas time, and we was putting decorations up in the jail. And so she gets jealous because this one girl I was talking to her, I'm not gonna lie, talking to her over there. We was putting up the decorations, and so she kind of grabbed me from behind and was hugging me, and she goes to tell the guard, they're over there touching, I mean, like a big scene was caused, whatever. Big scene was caused, and so they was like, okay, we're gonna lock you down so y'all can't see each other for a couple days, give you time to cool off, whatever. So we both come off lockdown, and Manada, she leaves a couple weeks before I do, but she was like, hey, here's my telephone number, hit me up when you get off. So I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. So when she leaves, I'm still in there doing what I do best, being me. I'm still talking to people, whatever. And I get out, and I remember, I think it was probably maybe a week or so before Christmas, I get out. I called her, I'm like, hey, look, I'm out, blah, 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 what you doing? She's like, nothing, I'm staying over here at this little house. Where you about to go? I'm like, oh, I'm headed over here to the shelter. Get up in the morning, I'm gonna go down to Operation Stand Down, that's for veterans, and I'm gonna do what I do best, let them help me get back on my feet, get my hustle on, get a job, whatever. So she's like, no, don't go to the shelter, come on over here, stay with me. I need to go get my car from the impound tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I jump on the bus, go over there, guys. When I get off the bus, I'm like, oh my God, where the hell am I? Guys, I was in the hood. I was in the freaking hood. I was like, oh, but she was at the bus stop. That was a plus. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So, we walked to the little place where she was staying at, and she was like, oh man, you like got summer clothes on. Like, I'm in Tennessee, it's cold, it's December. I had a little jacket they gave me and a sweatsuit. when I left the jail. So she was like, I got these little clothes here. She was like, hey, if you can fit them, you can wear them, whatever, you can have them. But it was her ex's clothes. So I was like, well, whatever. Shit, I need some clothes, bitch. At this time, I ain't picky. I don't have shit. So I was like, okay. She was like, so I gotta go to the police impound because my car got impounded and it's over there. And so I was like, okay, let's go. We'll do that tomorrow, whatever. And so we get up, and the next day we get up, and I'm like, yo, what you been doing? You know, because I was tired, man. Like, it was like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm ready to just go to sleep, whatever. I just want to, I'm in a real bed, I ain't in this hard bunk. I just want to go to sleep, and we'll talk tomorrow. So we did that, you know. We're on the bus, we're riding, and she was like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. I'm like, man, I'm so glad to see you. What you been doing? She's like, nothing. I just been out here cutting hair, doing what I do. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, we just talking, and we get off the little bus at the police. Well, it wasn't even the impound because we still had to walk like a mile or so to get to the impound. So we're walking down this long hill, and I'm like, oh my God. Got asthma, it's cold out here. I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel. So we get there, and dude was like, look, car been here for a minute. He was like, so, I understand your situation. I'm gonna cut you a deal because it's the holidays. He's like, give me $100, I'll let you take the car. So neither one of us had $100. So I'm like, okay, need transportation to get around. So I was like, hey, let's go donate some plasma. Let's go get this $100, and then we'll come back and get the car. And she was like, all right. So we had to go get back on the bus, go all the way back across town, and go donate plasma. Oh man, we get there, we don't. The guy's like, ID. So give me my ID. He's like, you got proof of residency? I'm like, no. I was like, oh my God. Can you just, I need to get my car. And like, I really got into I went into actor mode. I really need to get my car. It's $100, please. And he was like, okay. Look, he was like, you've done it here before. He was like, I'm just gonna leave everything the same. They did their little test, and I get back there, and I'm pumping. Like, oh my God. Like, they like, man, he was like, you literally, they was like, man, you came in here and pumped this plasma out real quick. I was like, I'm looking at these other people like, dang, dude, what's taking y'all so long? I done sat down 35 minutes, I'm done. Y'all was here before me, and I done passed y'all up. So we come out, and like, oh, dang. She's like, man, the impound closed. I was like, all right, so let's just get up early in the morning. Let's go do what we do. Let's go over there, and let's go get the car tomorrow. I was like, that way we can just go to Operation Stand Down. Now, Operation Stand Down was this place for veterans. Like, you can go there. They'll help you get an apartment. They'll help you get gas back and forth to work. They'll help you with food, rent, man, whatever you need. You was a veteran. All you had to say you was homeless. They finna help you out. Mind you, this is Christmas time. So I'm going there. I'm like, okay, we gotta get over there because it's getting close to Christmas. I gotta get my kids something for Christmas. That's just what it was. So, I was like, all right, set these alarms, be on our first bus, boom, we'll get there. So we get there, like 8 o'clock that morning. And we get there, and the guy's like, I thought y'all was coming back yesterday. Like, dude, by the time we finished donating plasma, and when I got back over here, y'all was gonna be closed. You wasn't gonna be here. He's like, all right, still gonna help y'all out. Y'all came back, whatever. So I give him my ID, sign for this car and everything, and we leave. So mind you now, the day before, we had got like I think I got like $125 for my first donation. So boom, we had $25. We need to put some gas in the car. That's all we got. So I'm like, let's go over here to Operation Stand Down. They're gonna give us food, they're gonna do this. So she's looking at me like, what? I'm like, girl, I'm a veteran. Veteran style, big V status. So she's like, all right, Kyle, let's go. So we go over there, get the operation stand down. It's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning when we get there, and we're over there, and they was like, okay, we need you got this paperwork, this paperwork, this paperwork. They was like, you got your duty 214. Nope. They was like, don't worry about it. We'll get it. So I go back there. This was an all day process. I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking tired. Because when you're in jail, you either sleeping, watching TV, at the gym, or in church. That's those are just your options. So I'm like, oh my God, this is like my nap time. Like, dude, it's nap time. So I was like, okay, you gotta break yourself out of this because you can't sleep in the real world. So filling out this paperwork, and guys like, "Are you got kids?" Yep. So I put my kids down there, and then I put her son on there too. And they was like, "All right." I was like, "Look, I'm homeless. I'm staying at this little house thing, a little apartment complex with a friend." I was like, "I really need a place to stay." So they was like, "Okay, cool." They was like, "Let us see what we got. You need to come back here every day. You need to be back here every day at 8 o'clock unless you have a job. We're going to give you a voucher. Do you have a car?" I was like, "Yep." They was like, "Okay, so we're going to give you a card, a debit card, like the little prepaid cards. We're going to put $25 a day on it to help you with gas, food, so you can go and look for a job." Cool. It was like, "You just got to fill this sheet out, turn it in." I was like, "All right." He's like, "But since you just getting out and you just trying to get back on your feet, we'll automatically put $150 on it." Bet. Bet. That's all I need. 150. I'm cool. I'm gonna make this 150 shake. So they helped me find for food stamps, all this stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I was at this place all day. So when I walked out, they was like, "All right, here's a voucher. Go to this location here. You can get some clothes." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Give me my little voucher. Let me go down here to Goodwill." Your girl was not too proud because I didn't really have nothing. I'm just getting out. All my stuff was gone when I got out. So, go there. I'm doing this, doing everything these people saying. This girl, like, literally watching me do this stuff. And so she was like, "Hey, I want to go work at this shop up here." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So now, mind you, I've been out now. Like, this is day 2, day 3, I'm out. And I'm like, this girl talking about she been cutting hair. Like, I ain't seen you cut nobody's hair. I ain't seen you go to work. I ain't seen you do nothing. But I'm like, okay, whatever. You just trying to help me get on my feet. Like, and we get this car moving and running, doing all this stuff. So, we're doing this. And she was like, "Hey, I just need your help getting set up in this shop so I can go over there and work in the shop. I need this, and other." So I'm like, "Okay, let's run down here. Let's get these hair supplies." Because now they told me, "Come back on Friday. We're gonna have toys for your kids. We're gonna have meals." They had gave me 3 boxes of food to take out with me when I left that day. And they was like, "Okay." And then we would give you a gift for yourself as a veteran. So I go back on that Friday, I pick up these toys. I'm telling you, they gave out iPads, tablets. There was tablets. Gave out tablets, video game. Like, they had gave out a whole bunch of stuff, and then they gave me a check. And the check, you guys, I kid you not, was for $750. I was like, bam, your girl into money. Got money. I can make some moves. I'm about to give me some real clothes. I ain't gonna be wearing no used clothes. Give me some shoes. Do this, do that. I was grateful for the stuff that I had got, but I just wanted some of my own stuff. I need to buy me some hygiene. I need to get myself hyped up. So we doing all this stuff. I know you guys probably like, get to the part. I'm getting there. So I'm going with her, and she's like, "Hey, let me get $100. I'm like, "Okay, well, okay, we cool. We kind of like in a relationship, whatever." So I give her $100. She's like, "Okay." She was like, "Hey, I need to make a run. I'm gonna go over here," and she was like, "You gonna have to sit in the car, but I just need to go to my people's and do some stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'm gonna give this girl $100. So we go over there, and I'm sitting in the car, and I'm just chilling on my cell phone, just waiting for her in the car. And I'm like, all right. So she comes out. She's like, all right, we good. I'm like, okay, we good, great. So, we really having a good time. I'm still looking for a job, so I had an interview at Vanderbilt, get the job at Vanderbilt. Fast forward, and we're into the new year now. So, and I got the girl the hair supplies, and she's working, doing hair, whatever. But then you know how you just feel like something is off. So, before I told y'all about the donuts. This was the only thing that I can use as leverage to get the girl out of bed every morning was donuts. Even when I was in jail. So when I came out, it was the same thing. Donuts. The girl was like, donuts, mommy, donuts. And I used to be like, girl. That was just her thing. She wanted donuts. So, and of course I'm a Starbucks junkie. So Starbucks and Krispy Kremes was right next door to each other. So I would go get her donuts, get my Starbucks, and that's how I went every morning. That was the morning routine. Because she wasn't getting out the bed before 12 o'clock. So, you just get that feeling that something just ain't right. You can't put your finger on it, but it ain't right. So, I remember we went to her homeboy house. And he was like, white girl. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is white girl? So he was like, hey, who this little boy you got with you? Because that's when I had my little fade down. She's like, man, this is not a boy, this is my girlfriend. And he was like, man, stop playing. Who's this little boy you got with you? Dressed like he 5'0" and everything. And girl, I was like, what? So he was like, your new nickname is Scandalous. Like, who the fuck is Scandalous? He was like, Scandalous. He was like, cause you just off the chain. He was like, just your appearance, your look. You look like 5'0". So I'm just gonna call you Scandalous, cause I don't know nothing about you. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I don't care. So, this was the first time we had went there, and I'm looking like, what the fuck? This girl, where we at? Like, why all these people here? So, really didn't think anything of it. So it was like New Year's Eve, and we was going to make a play, because by now I don't figure it out. Okay, so something she doing ain't cool. She always on the telephone talking to people, whatever the case might be. She always driving her homegirls around. So something she doing ain't cool. Just long as I don't know nothing about it, I'm good. I'm great. So I remember meeting one of her friends, G Money. I call him G Money. That ain't really his name, but I'm just calling him G Money. And he was like, "What's up? What's up, WB?" I'm like, "What the fuck is WB?" He's like, "WG, WB. That's what it is." I was like, "Okay." Then he was like, "Anytime I see WG, I see WB. So that's what we'll be calling y'all. Y'all the W's." Okay, cool. I like that. Whatever. Because now by this time I don't got so many names. I'm Scandalous. Our boy Scandalous. I'm Gemini. Like everybody I met just gave me a different name. So I'm like, whatever. And that's what it was. So things started to get rocky, because I'm like, yo, I don't like not knowing what you doing. You take off in the car, you gone, then you come back. You gone, then you come back. You gone, then you come back. Like, I'm not cool with this. So, I'm out there, I'm working and everything. Now, I don't got my own car. Even though, I'm driving her car, I want my own, because I know this is your car. And just because I signed for it don't mean it's mine. So I want my own shit. So I'll go get my own car, whatever the case might be. And this is the first incident. I called her. I'm like, "Hey, what you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just hanging with my girl, Angel." I'm like, "Oh, okay, where y'all at?" "We just chilling. So Angel was one of them friends that was just not cool. I didn't like her vibe. And I was like, you know what? This ain't cool. So anytime she around Angel, I'm gonna have to be skeptical because Angel just was in a whole another world doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So your girl decides to leave. I got off work early. Really wasn't feeling good. So I'm driving and I go to the house because now I'm like, oh, okay. So I pull up and I go in and Elaine's in the back room, well, in the bathroom, which is in the hallway. But when I walk in the house, it's the living room. So Angel's just like, she's just like, so she's stuck. She can't say anything. And I hear Elaine like, hey, come here, come here. I don't know where she at. I don't know where she at. I need you to come and tell me, like, do I smell like anything? I'm like, yeah, you smell like a lot right about now. A lot of bullshit. So I'm pissed off. So I'm mad. So I'm like, you know what? I was like, okay, I'm gonna get your ass back. But girl cheated on me. Let me just put it there. When girl cheated on me, I was mad. So we like, oh no, she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. So your feelings hurt, but you kind of caring for this person, and it's like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna get you back. So I did. I started doing what I wanted to do, and then she was doing what she wanted to do, and it would be a break up, get back together, break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And that's just how I kept going. And then, like in March, I had an allergic reaction, and I'll never forget this. It was crazy because I was at work, and I had ate the night before. We had partied. I'm not gonna lie, we had partied the night before. So it could have been something that I had came in contact with that set off the reaction of the food that I ate the next morning. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I almost died that day. March the 6th, 2013. I'll never forget it. Like, they literally had to cut my clothes off, and we had got into a big argument that morning. Like, I got up, I was working at Vanderbilt, and I was a janitor. So we wore our own personal clothes. We didn't have no set uniform. So I got up, put my little Tim's on, put on my jeans. I had ironed them, had put this nice shirt on, and she dropped me off that morning. She was like, oh, so you gonna go to work dressed all fly after I don't cut your hair last night, blah, blah, blah. So you think you finna go to work cute? I'm gonna drop you off. Okay, well, whatever. So, she drops me off, and I walked across to the cafeteria with this girl that I was talking to at work. And so I go over there, we're getting breakfast, whatever, and she's like, hey, she's like, yo, your face like got whelps on it. But I was like, yeah, got a little itch. So I go ahead, I'm asking my soup, let me get a Benadryl. So my soup gives me a Benadryl. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thinking the Benadryl gonna kick in, but it didn't. By this time, I'm looking down at my hands. I got these webs and stuff, guys. I swear, I'm just like, man, if this girl done gave me some mess this morning and poisoned me, this is what my mind went through. But come to find out, I was allergic to beef. I don't know. So when they finally got the IV in my neck and everything, did my blood work, they was like, asked me had I been bitten by a tick. I was like, not that I know of. They was like, have you been in like a wooded area or anything? I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, probably like 7-8 months ago, because the jail was surrounded by trees and stuff, and we went outside for outside rec. Who knows? So they was like, yeah, it looks like you got a little Lyme disease in your blood, blah, 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 blasey blah. So, she came, she visited me at the hospital that night, and then she went back because she couldn't stay the night. When things happen and you're on probation, you just can't be where you want to be when you want to be. So the next day she came and got me, and I remember I'm like, hey, what you do last night? She was like, nothing. Just sat over here, waited, blah, 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 for you, talked to you on the phone. What she did, she talked to me on the phone till I went to sleep. And so, but you already cheated, so I don't trust you at this point. Whatever. So come to find out, a couple days later, I'm like, I'm gonna go to work. And she was like, you don't need to be going to work. I got us covered. I'm like, what do you mean you got us covered? I got us covered. You just need to sit back and chill. So she was like, we're gonna go make this play. I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm driving and everything, and we get pulled over. So the officer was like, hey, you know who you with? I'm like, yeah, that's my girl. And he looking at me like, no, do you know who you with? I'm like, yeah, that's my girl. He's like, oh, okay, well, let me see your driver's license, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, why did I get stopped? He was like, oh, he was like, your tail light in the back is out. I was like, oh, okay. So, he's running my stuff, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, hey, what's this dude talking about? She's like, oh, nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And so then he comes back. He was like, all right. He was like, get that tail light fixed. You good. Then he was like, he says to her, he was like, all right, Elaine, see you later. I'm like, hey, like, looking at her, looking at him like, what the fuck? She's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, scandalous. Don't worry about it. So, I'm like, whatever. So, times two. So, I was going back to Operation Stand Down because I had to let them know, look, I had an allergic reaction. Vanderbilt put me on leave for a week. I can't go back to work for a week until I go have all these tests done to make sure I'm good to come back to work. So they gave me a little voucher, and I called her, hey, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm just laying here, just chilling. Okay, cool. Well, I'm on my way back. Oh, you're way back. I thought you was going to work. I'm like, yo, look, don't play with me. So, I'm like, okay, cool. So I get back to the house. I'm like, hey, I thought you said you was here chilling. Oh, I'm chilling with such and such. So now by this time, I'm like, okay, look, true time. So, now we're really not on good terms, but we're still just trying to be together because we're comfortable. It's okay if you do this because I'm gonna do this. We was just doing tit for tat, tit for tat. So I remember last breakup, your girl, like, I was so petty because I was so mad with this chick. I was like, this bitch is not finna. You're not gonna keep disrespecting me and think I'm just finna be cool with it. So what I did, took a Snickers bar and shoved it in her gas tank, guys. I was like, boom. So she had to go get gas that next morning because I had left, whatever. And it was crazy. She went to she was about to put gas in the tank and noticed there was chocolate that had been smeared there. And she had to call her homeboy. He was a mechanic, so he can drop the gas tank. And I think that was when we really was like, look, we really can't be together. It ain't even, it's not working out because we keep playing tit for tat. So we kind of just went our separate ways. But the crazy part about it was, no matter what other relationship I was in, hey, Elaine, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And if she wasn't even really in a relationship. She was just single, doing what she wanted to do. But we would be always taking it up on the phone, laughing and talking about the bullshit. I'm like, yeah, this girl over here, she's really working my nerves, blah, 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 whatever the case might be. And then I met Babe. And in meeting Babe, it was just like, I wanted to still be friends with her, but I wanted to respect this relationship because I met Babe and I was like, oh wow, this is a different girl. She different. She ain't like nobody else I dated. She's not like nobody else I dated. Just when I seen her, it was just something about her that was like different. And so Babe came down, and that's the one, I was on the phone talking to, and I was like, okay, I love you too. And Babe was like, we're not doing no I love yous to no friends that we used to be in relationships with. And I was like, but that's my friend. Like, there's no love there, there's no loss there. It's just my friend. And babe was like, okay, so if I tell my friend that I love them, how would you feel? Girl, you're not gonna do that. And then I had to think about it, like, no. If you really want this relationship to work, you're gonna have to change you. And so, that was babe. I was very skeptical because this the relationship I had been in with Elaine, it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Y'all, it was just a back and forth relationship. And a couple weeks ago, I get this message, and it was on, I think it was on YouTube, but I think it was Facebook. Elaine hit me up on Facebook and was like, "It's amazing to see your growth." She was like, 8-9 years ago, you was here and you was going through the same thing with your family. And she was like, here it is later, but now you decided that you gotta stop, cut it off, time out. And she was like, I'm proud of you. She was like, I love your wife, I love you guys. She was like, I'm so happy that you found somebody that's for you. So I was like, yeah, I said I love my babe too. And it is what it is. That relationship taught me that when it's not good for you, don't keep going back to the same repetitive behavior, because you're going to keep repeating the cycle and hurt people. And so being with babe taught me patience, taught me kindness, taught me just be vocal, like to express my feelings and just be able to just be me. Be me. Don't try to be pleasing everybody else. Don't try to be out there just wilding out just because. So I thank Elaine for the lessons that I learned there, because I learned a lot of street smarts. I learned you always got to have an attorney on lock, a bondsman on lock, and somebody that can go and get your bail. And babe taught me love, patience, kindness, gentleness, meekness, sweetness, all that. And all that is sexy. So thank you. But I had to move on to the next one, who's my queen. And you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So I want you guys to just go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Tell your mom and your daddy, your sisters, your brothers, tell everybody you know. Is Reese and Fany Empire. It'll never, ever, ever be a dull moment.